And when that protest occurred 237 years ago, it was more than about a protest about taxation without representation. It was a protest about a bailout of the East India Company. The East India Company was about to go bankrupt. They had too much tea. I'm here to talk about another plan, the cannabis plan, which in English is known as HEMP. We use that acronym for activists. Help eliminate marijuana prohibition. Those ships brought tea here wouldn't have gotten here without the rope and cannabis sales made from hemp. Farmers could pay their taxes with well-dressed hemp. It was the most important crop in the Americas. It was so important that in March of 1776, John Adams, and in his diaries he calls this his greatest accomplishment, he got the Continental Congress to pass a resolution encouraging to the colonies, United Colonies, the cultivation of hemp, the manufacture of duck and sailcloth and steel, war materials, and the resolution was published to the world in April of 1776. What did George III think when he got a copy of that newspaper showing that the colonists are making war materials? That's a Declaration of Independence. I don't have time to go into an explanation of why this plan was maligned and its ingestion by humans prohibited. But I can tell you this, in colonial times, hemp, leaves, and flowers were being put into pipes as much as tobacco. And in the early part of the last century, racism played a role, as did competing economic interests. As I put this, wood pulp paper the technology to turn hemp into paper with 4 times more paper per acre and 1/4 the amount of pollution was developed. Just as this plant was about to replenish itself and replenish the nation, Roosevelt put a tax on it. And that shows the limits of the Constitution, of the rights that are protected by this document. The rights protected to the states. They couldn't prohibit it. They thought they needed a constitutional amendment like they needed for alcoholic liquors. But if they needed it for alcoholic liquors, why don't they need it for a plant? A plant that began in 1763. And his words are as accurate today as they were then. We shall by and by on the world of hemp law for our own